Yeah, we're looking at a short here. I'm just waiting to see if this fair value gap inverts. If it doesn't, then there's less probability behind this, but this is what I'm looking at. I think it can run down to 50% potentially. Let's see if we get some entries. Yeah, so it would be 0.6% risk. Yeah, I definitely want it at least there. 50%. You've got OTE entries here. Just going to see how this reacts if we do get a pull back up. Lunchtime macro coming in hot. 50% there. And see if we've got anything on the 2 minute. Yeah, so that is a 2 minute fair value gap as well. So I'd hit C of that. I'm not going to place the limit order, but we'll see. Just taking that low now. Had an alert set on that low, so I would want to see how it reacts in here, because we are reacting off a 5 minute busy. Does look quite bearish here though. What do we want, OTE? The problem is I'm not sure it's going to get back up there. But this 5 minute fair value gap should provide a reaction, and hopefully that will give us a drive up into here, at least 50%. I'll turn off these imbalances on here because it gets a little bit muddy. So look at the 3 minute. Yeah, so 3 minutes not closed, but there's going to be a large 3 minute fair value gap. 2 minutes left, a few. Let's see if we get an entry here. Yeah, so we've got Market structure shift. Touch some higher time frame PD rays as well. So let's see how it reacts in here. We're inside this 2-minute fair value gap now. Not quite hit 50% retracement yet. So we'd want at least that for an entry. Problem is we're running out of a bit of time on the macro, the lunchtime macro here. So want to see it deliver. Yeah, so it's 12:08. So we've only got until 2 more minutes before macro time's over. Let's see how we get on in here. See how it respects these fair value gaps. Maybe I should have put that limit order in. It's wicked it quite nicely there, but let's see. Yeah, see, the reason I placed it there was off that inversion fair value gap, which we can change that to here. And it's also around 50% of this 2-minute fair value gap. So that would have been the entry, and it would have been a good entry as well. Look at that. Unbelievable. Didn't set the limit order. Let's just see. Target I wanted was 50% of the range, but there's a few bullish. We've got a fair value gap there, so that's the reason I didn't set the limit order there. I wanted to see how it respects these. I mean, it just literally just wicked up there and dropped down, but it does look like it might come back up here, so let's wait and see how things develop. I mean, the trade idea is legit, but I've got some really small fair value gaps in here, but let's see what the 2-minute looks like. Yeah, see, that's C of that 2-minute. I've got stacked. See, no, it didn't it failed to break that low as well, this would be concerning me now if I had entered there. I know it did push down really nicely, but the fact that it failed to break that low is a bit of a red flag, particularly given that we are in a 5 minute and I think even a 15-minute fair value gap, so it could just be a wipeout of the long positions here and continue moving up. But I want to see this low blown out if I was in this trade, which I'm not. So this is, oh, excuse me. Would be OTE. If we pop this chart out for a minute, I'm just gonna see, yeah, the 4 hour SIBI here was something that I had marked out pre-market, and obviously we've come back above 50% of the range from which was set in at 10 o'clock. So we've popped in there, tapped a 4 hour SIBI. There's also a daily inversion fair value gap there as well. So it plays into a higher time frame PD array if we were to get a setup here, but I'd like to see something develop in here on the 1 minute, which it hasn't really yet. I know it has wicked up into that. It doesn't have to be the 1 minute, it can be the 2 minute chart as well. But yeah, see, I would have probably cut this off if I was in the trade at break even there, because I'd be fearful given that it hasn't taken out that low. Had it taken that low, I would have set to break even anyway and just let it run, because if it does reverse from there, then there's a high probability chance that we're incorrect about the trade idea. Let's just go back to the free chart view. So we're back inside that inversion fair value gap now, and if it closes here, then it's closed above 50% of the 2 minute fair value gap that displaced from earlier. So yeah, see, I wouldn't fancy this now because it's closed over half of it. If we get a displacement here, a fair value gap open up and then a move into it, and then hopefully then it will give us an entry for a nice drop. But it doesn't look, the price action doesn't look great from my perspective here. I don't you know, I'd want to see something on the lower time frames to give us an entry. Yeah, I'd like to see some displacement on the 1-2 minute, little tap into that, and then it drives down, takes out that low. It hasn't really done that. It went to do it here, and I thought that might be the play, and I didn't set the limit order, and I might have missed it. But yeah, I'm happy to wait for confirmation. Let's take that off for now. So we need to see something displace here, but we're outside of the macro time zone now. So as you can see, that time zone, it did deliver something, and it looked like it might want to run for it, but we might actually have to wait now. Let's just see how this develops. What we might find is it consolidates in here for a bit now. Builds up the liquidity on both sides and then takes one side and then drives into the other. But I'm getting a little bit on that. What's the 2 minute saying? Yeah, see, again, you got that's potentially going to be a inversion on the 2 minute. Nice close on that candle. So let's see how this closes. Yeah, see, that's going to invert that now. Not a huge displacement there. And the stop would need to be pretty tasty. It's too high. The stop would have to be too high off that. I wouldn't want to take that. It's not worth the risk, in my opinion. But it has inverted that 2 minute there. Wonder if it's gonna break these lows. Is that another 5 minute low? It's not really, no. So could quite easily wick up. It's actually going to be a balanced price range. I thought I had a better one than that. Yeah, I did. That's better. The reason that's a balanced price range is it's displaced on the way up and then displaced on the way back down. So the buy side's been covered in here and the sell side gets covered in there. So it balances it out effectively. Excuse me. Let's go back to the 1 minute. Yes, we've got something so small like that. Yeah, again, it's failing to take that low. That might do it here. No. Still looks like it wants to come back up. I think it could chop in here. You can see it's built this liquidity down here. We've got equal lows down there now. So there's a good reason for this to be revisited. But yeah, I mean, I'm pleased I haven't taken this, because I'd feel uncomfortable being in this position. It wouldn't feel good to me. Also, we're outside of macro times as well, and I like trading the macro, or before or just after the macro. I mean, we're at, what is it, 12:30 now, 22 past 12, so we're outside of macro time frames. There's no reason for price to deliver now. It would probably wait for the 12:50 to 1:10 macro, and I'll probably look to see if something's played out then. But that's the idea. Yeah, pleased I didn't take it. I mean, I probably could have taken some profit or even a break even there. In the worst case, wouldn't have taken huge amounts of heat on that if I had taken it. So, did it tap that? Christ. I mean, if it tapped that, it's taken those equal lows now. So, is there? I think there's news, isn't there? Is there more news coming out? There might be more news coming out driving this. I think there was something around 1 o'clock. Let's wipe those equal lows now. Did it tap that? I want to see if it hit that. Unbelievable. It literally tapped that balanced price range to the tick. Yeah, to the tick, and then wipe those equal lows. Unbelievable. So yeah, we could have taken that. My problem is I'd have to have set the stop up there. It's just such a monstrous stop loss. I don't think it was worth the risk. But yeah, you can see how that's played out. What a wick that was. Unbelievable. It's now driving lower, so I thought it might just chop about in here for a while, but it's decided to start delivering. I'm pretty sure there's some news coming out as well, which might be the reason behind it. I still wouldn't trust this move down. I don't think that that's going to be the sole delivery. I think that's just a push down to take out those equal lows there, which I said wouldn't remain intact. Certainly built that liquidity well. I'd want to see it down here is where I would want the delivery, and I think that may come at the news point around 1 o'clock. So we'll have to wait and see.